Hi, I'm Aaron Tvetter, founder of Reality Emotive Systems Theory. In other videos I've talked about bubbles of reality. In this video I'm going to be more specific and I'm going to talk about how bubbles of reality can create peace in your life, but it can create stagnancy. Bubbles of reality do have a tendency to blind us of the truth and blind us from things that are going on in our lives, blind us of the outside world, but sometimes some bubbles of reality can be very helpful. For example, let's say that you have a person who has a bubble of reality of they want to help a community. They want to do community service, not because of any legal obligations, but because they care for their community and they want to help. So they decide to enlarge their perspective by including other people, and they create a board and a committee of different people that want to help their community. So there's all of a sudden there is a lot of different people that this one person here has motivated to help the community. And now this large group of people are positively motivated towards a good cause. I went to BYU, Idaho, and the community there was kind of weird. The people there were really friendly. It was strange. They would talk to you even if you were a perfect stranger. And I'd have people wave to me that I didn't even know. I had people just come up, knock on my door, and invite me to a party even though I didn't know anybody. It was a strange culture, but it was also very positive culture, and I fell in love with it. I loved it there because it was such a positive and uplifting atmosphere that I wanted to be a part of it. And so I became one of these people that were invested in this larger community of peaceful people. This is called synergy. It's a really powerful thing, but it can also be a negative thing if it is in a bad way, in a negative mindset. For example, you may have heard of mob mentality. There's a story that I heard about a mob, which was it's actually kind of humorous. There was a mob that they were destroying things and marching around, and it probably even started at a peaceful protest, something probably pretty mild, but it became something pretty aggressive, and this mob started going this one direction, and some of the mob members realized that they were starting to go onto the freeway. And of course no one in their right mind would start walking up on an on-ramp into the freeway, but because there was this mob of people, everybody having this crazy mindset, it created this kind of craziness that it was okay to go up onto the freeway. And some of the people actually got away, but there was a large amount that got onto the freeway, which is really sad. Another interesting thing about mob mentality is that when the police, they have a mob, their mindset isn't to just start grabbing people out of this big mob and start arresting them. It's actually to disperse them. They get their cars lined up, or it may be just lined up with their shields, and they start moving towards the mob. And then once they move towards the mob, they split off into different blocks, different streets, to help disperse the mob. And so it gets down to smaller and smaller groups. Some of the people will still be kind of riled up, and that's the ones they can arrest. But other people, they'll just start realizing, oh wait, this is kind of stupid. I'm just going to go home. And they leave and they're okay. And it's this mob mentality that it can be a negative thing, or it can be a really great, peaceful thing. An important aspect of bubbles of reality, which you should be aware of, is that people are creatures of habit. People may live in a bubble of reality, and they may even have other people in their bubble of reality. And because people are creatures of habit, it is difficult for them to move out of that bubble of reality. Particularly when they have multiple people in that perspective of reality. It is really hard for them to move out of that perspective of reality. Even if it is a difficult situation, a very hard, maybe they have a hard job or hard work environment or a hard home environment, it's difficult to move out of that situation because people are comfortable in their own perspectives of reality. That's the strongest thing about these bubbles of reality. People don't want to break that perspective. They don't want to look to a new perspective. But if you can break free of that perspective of reality and go maybe to a new perspective of reality, you can often look back on your old perspective and think to yourself, wow, it was really hard back then. Or you might think, wow, it was a lot better back then. But in any case, people are usually surprised to see why they were in that situation. They were surprised to see how different their past perceptions of reality were to their present perceptions of reality. But it is really important for success in your life to not get stuck. Because a lot of times people become complacent. They become stagnant, even when there are really difficult things in their life. But they become so satisfied in their situation that they don't move, they don't progress, or they don't move on. So, being stuck in the one perspective of reality can be a negative thing. But it can also be a positive thing if it is a really healthy and happy environment. If you enjoyed this video, please go to our website to learn more